I go to the Performing Arts Library again. I love it there. Almost there. 64th in Amsterdam. I have an important meeting here and some research. Let's see what's happening. Let's see. I'm looking for the Marco Rizo collection. Concert pianist, composer, arranger, conductor, pedagogue, Marco Rizo. Better yet, let's hear Vilma Rizo, Maestro Marco Rizo's sister. She has the story to tell.
Oh, great. How are you, Gilda?
Vilma, it's a pleasure speaking to you because you represent so many beautiful things of our history, of your family tree. Thank you for this second interview. I got your pictures with your mom, your other brother, and your sister.
Yes, you have you know the whole family.
In other words, after your brother came out of with an honorable discharge from the Army,
yes,
he came back to New York. Is that correct?
He came back to New York. That's right. That was in the 50s. So Marco started at the Juilliard School. He's a wonderful teacher, Rosina Levine, and then he started playing like in nightclubs with his trio or his quartet, doing very well. And then, as I think I told you before, and then he met Desi Arnaz while Desi was playing at one of these famous nightclubs in New York. And then that was when Marco decided to accept Desi and Lucy's proposal to join the I Love Lucy show. So that's when he went to California, Los Angeles, California.
And then they started with a project for the I Love Lucy series. Yes. And for the new listeners, your brother was the conductor, the arranger, the director of Desi's orchestra. But I also saw that they had played many cities together with the band. Is that correct?
Oh yes, that was prior. That was that was when Marco was the musical director and pianist for the Desi Arnaz orchestra. They toured the whole country, the whole United States with very much success. And, that took a long time to tour them. They went to the South, Miami, and then they went, in other words, they toured the whole United States. And then they came back to New York. That was the base city.
When Desi heard Maestro Marco playing in a studio nearby, where Desi was playing, yes, and he recognized his piano style, and he said, "That is Marco," and he already was with Lucille.
Yes.
And that's when he asked him to go to California with him.
Yes.
When was it that they had played together in different cities, in different nightclubs, before or after that?
After that. When Desi was playing with his orchestra at the Copacabana nightclub in New York, and when, he passes by and then he heard Marcos playing,
yes,
he recognized Marcos' touch, and
yes,
then after, exactly, yes.
Now, Marco then moved to California, made his base in California. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you went there for a year.
I went, yeah, that was my Hollywood experience, yes. Yes, I went to, I couldn't miss the Hollywood.
The opportunity.
Absolutely.
But you look so pretty. I found the pictures of you, and I know you're a dancer. You were part of the chorus, or did you dance in some shows? Tell me about that.
Yes, that was when it was my adventure. I was reading the auditions for talents, these talent scouts in Hollywood. Yes. And yes, I was reading in the Variety magazine that, Ina Sumac is looking for dancers or something like that. And at that time, I was taking dancing classes in Hollywood at the Ruth and Dennis studio. Ruth and Dennis was the first American lady to dance Oriental dancing. That was a very renowned, yes.
What was her name?
Ruth St. Denis.
And you joined her group, her class?
Yes. I asked Marco. I said, well, yes, go ahead, Why not? So then, I said, oh, look, there is an audition here. And the audition read, how would you interpret Ima Sumak's voice? She had a wonderful voice, very distinct. And then I said, well, this is my opportunity. And I didn't say anything to Marco, of course. And then I went, and then there were beautiful girls, dancers from all over the world. And then I did my version of her voice. And then I rushed back home. And I didn't say anything. And so one day I was having breakfast with Marco, and this telephone rang. And Marco, answered and said, Vilma, what did you do? So that's when it was Ima Sumak calling.
That's a beautiful
why
story.
Is Ima Sumak? How do you, and then, of course, Marco knew Ima Sumak, and then he took me to her beautiful mansion in the Hollywood Hills, and then, I was in paradise because for me, it was a wonderful honor. Contract was for the Pierre Hotel, the cotillion room, for 2 months. Then my mother came to visit Marco, and my mother and I accompanied Ima Sumak to New York. We flew to New York for 2 months.
A real honor.
Oh, yeah.
And did you decide that you were going to continue dancing, or did you just stop your career?
No, well then, then it was time for me to go back to Cuba. Because I went to Hollywood for 2 weeks, so I stayed 1 year and a half. So my father said, well, it's about turn to you. Now I sent your mother to bring you back, and she stayed also, so.
Oh, that's funny. So you went back.
So I went back to Cuba, and that was my Hollywood experience.
That's a beautiful thing. Now, in Cuba, you lived in Havana with your mom. Tell me about your brother and your sister. Yes,
well, my brother is he was a podiatrist, and
that's Evelio. What was his name?
Evelio. Yeah, he studied at the University of Chicago, years ago prior to that. So he graduated, and then he went back to Havana to practice.
And your sister?
My sister, she was a teacher and pedagogue, and a social worker, very active sister. And I'm honored. I'm so happy. I enjoy my family, my parents, my father. My father was so nice and so patient, and my mother, and my two brothers and my sister. I really enjoy my beautiful family.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Of course. Yeah.
Now I see that. During the run of the I Love Lucy show, which must have been like 6 years or more, Marco stayed in Hollywood with him, always doing his orchestrations, and you told me that he was always present in all the filming of the shows. What happened after the show ended with Maestro Marco Rizo's life?
Well, after the series ended, Marco then he came to New York because Desi said, I know you want. He wanted to experience more, like traveling to New York and having another path career, and so Marco returned to New York City. While Marco was filming the I Love Lucy show, he went to the University of California. And he had the privilege of having Igor Stravinsky and Mario Castelnuovo Tedesco as his mentors and teachers. He graduated for classical orchestration. So that was a very, very good period of Marcos while he was filming the I Love Lucy show.
He made good use of his time. He did not waste time.
No.
Now, then after that, he came to live in New York. Were you still in Havana?
I came to New York in 1957, no, 58 or 59. I came to finish my studies here, you know. And then Marco, that more or less, at that time, Marco decided to come back to New York. So apparently, you know, we came to New York at the same time.
And your mom and your
sister
and your brother,
my whole
they
family
were over there. They were in Cuba.
He remained in Cuba. I came as a solo and to study, and I wanted to work here, and I wanted to have I always loved New York because prior to, you know, during my childhood and everything, well, I came very many times to New York to visit, and I always have loved New York. And live at the girls' residence here in Manhattan. And I stayed there for 5 wonderful years, and I met young ladies from all over the world.
When he came back to Manhattan, where he was happy, and you were here, started also his presentations in nightclubs and different places. Is that correct? His career continued.
Yes, that was the era for beautiful, like in Morocco. The nightclubs in New York were very, you know, it was a very live city, not like now. So yes, so he started then with his trio or quartet. And
which he already had before. He had that before. Then he went back with his trio and quartet. There's something that I saw in some of the photographs, and I must say that the Performing Arts, New York City Performing Arts Library is an extraordinary place, Vilma, and I want to thank you again and again for donating Marco Rizo's documents and his manuscript and his photographs and part of his story to their archives. And I am promoting and asking people to go to the library to enjoy the treasures that they have there. And I also believe that in the future, not all travelers and the native New Yorkers can go online and read the Marco Rizo manuscript. That is in the works. So we will let you know in the future because he has a beautiful story he wrote, and it's his story and his version of his relationship with Desi Arnaz. By the way, Vilma, what was the relationship after the show between the Arnaz, Lucille Ball, and your brother?
They always kept in touch because Desi and Lucy, they live in California and in Hollywood. And Marco stayed here in New York after the I Love Lucy show, but they always kept in touch, you know, by phone or by writing, and then years after that, you know, there was I remember there was the first carnival in Miami, the city of Miami,
yes,
and that was the reunion of Desi and Marco.
Oh, how lovely! Carnaval de Miami in la calle 8. Yes, I remember.
Yes.
There was a reunion for them. Oh, that's marvelous.
Yes, because they nominated Desi as King of the Carnival.
Oh.
And then Desi said, "Well, Marco, you have to come to Miami with me."
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, that's beautiful. And he did. They met there and they performed there. They were there together, correct?
Correct, yes. So Marco flew to Miami, and, he was the musical director. He conducted the orchestra, and that was such a beautiful, and we all went to Miami, of course, to see the carrozas and, the big show in a stadium. So that was the reunion, the Carnival of Miami, yes.
Now, I know that Lucille and Desi divorced.
Yes.
And he remarried, is that correct?
Yes, the two of them remarried, yes.
I believe that I saw some photographs, again, in the Performing Arts Library archives, of Desi and Marco, and I think you're there too, in some sort of a reunion in New York. And I see I see they're both elderly. I see that Desi and Marco are elderly. What happened? Do you remember that reunion at all?
Yes, so yes. Desi came, and Lucy Jr., Desi's daughter, she always was telling her father, why don't you, you have to go on with your career. Why don't you get together with Mark and make some music? Always telling Desi that. And Desi was telling, yes, but never happened. But then Desi came to New York, and he was invited to go to the David Letterman show. And then he called Marco, and they both appeared at the, yes.
Now, was that the last time they performed together?
I think so, the David Letterman show, yes. Yes.
Then I know, and I want you to talk about the schools and the children and the students, your educational side of your brother's life, your life, and your company. Tell me about that, please.
Oh, the SAMPI, this South American Music Project.
Yes.
All right. Yes, that was Marco's dream, and he started, in fact, he started with the idea of that, we have to teach the children what is Cuban, what is the history of Cuban music. So Marco started with Maria, who was the director of the educational part of at that time. And Marco started the workshops. Workshops included for other musicians, wonderful musicians, and they went to different boroughs, like Manhattan, Brooklyn, teaching the children what is the Latin American music and how to play the instrument.
Now, Vilma, what year was this when you started the SAMPI?
SAMPI? I cannot give you an exact year.
No, but it's okay. It was in the 70s.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Then you partnered with the department.
Yes. And the director was Maria Artesi. I have to mention her name because she was, she was wonderful, and she helped Marco and go with all those workshops all over the New York and the 5 boroughs.
Are you still active with the SAMPI project?
Well, not with the workshop, because I was active after Marco's death, which was in 1998. Like for 10 years or more, I was active with workshops. But then there was difficulty with the budget and the education department, so they discontinued. Not only me, but all the programs were, recessed. Exactly, but a good 10 years or more, yes, I continue with that. But I have a Cuban classical piano music project now.
Oh, tell me about that.
Yes, I have 5 or 6 of Marco's classical compositions. Like, for example, La Edad de Oro, the Golden Age, that was inspired by José Martí. And it refers to the last decades of the 19th century, the age of the great romantic composers, and also the time of Ignacio Cervantes, and that was the birth of Cuban national music.
Now, Maestro Marco wrote music for these projects? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. So now I'm promoting this. There are 5 compositions: La Edad de Oro, Toccata, Avellaneda, and Anecuellan Bao, which is another Marcos composition. That is it pays tribute to the Afro-Cuban heritage. Yes. Was, cultivated the poems of Alejo Carpentier and the music of Amadeo Roldán.
Yes.
So there was both leading figures of Cuban nationalism.
These recordings are available on what?
Well, there is a CD, Marco, Habaneras.
Yes.
That was his last CD. And he has
That's the last one that he did, Habaneras.
Habaneras.
And this is available through you to buy these recordings?
Yes.
I'm going to put a website so that people can write to you and request these recordings if they're interested.
The website is www.marcorizo.com.
www.marcorizo.com. Okay. Yes. And you will see it on their screen so that they can write to you. Could you tell me about his last days? Because I know and I believe that he is eternal, that we are all eternal, that he is laughing and smiling at his work, his life, and his family, and being grateful to you. I believe it. What were his last days like in physical body?
No, thank God, no, he didn't suffer. Well, Marco, he had a heart attack when he was about 15 or 20 years prior to his passing.
Okay.
But then, he went to the doctor and then he was fine. Thank God he didn't suffer any, disease or anything like that. But later, lately in his life, he started feeling, like a kind of weak. But that was about, months prior to his passing, And then, one day, we live in the same building.
Yes.
So different apartments. And then, I said, well, Marco, let me go with you to the doctor, because Marco, he was very independent.
Yes, like you.
Like me, yes. And then I accompanied him to visit his doctor, and then we took a taxi. And I remember that he was, in that area of, the traffic was so heavy that, why don't we get off the taxi and walk? It's about 1 or 2 blocks. So that's what we did. And all of a sudden, Gilda, he collapsed.
He collapsed in the street next to you?
He collapsed on the sidewalk. And then there was a good soul, I don't remember who he was. He took Marco in his arms and he walked him to the doctor's office.
But he was conscious. He collapsed, but he was conscious.
No,
so he was not conscious?
He collapsed? No.
Aha. So the Good Samaritan picked him up and took him to the doctor's office.
Because the doctor's office was across the St. Vincent's Hospital.
Aha.
See all the coincidence? So the doctor immediately put him in a wheelchair and crossed the street with Marco and entered him in the St. Vincent's Hospital. That's where he passed.
When he got there, they told you he had passed?
No. He stayed a few days, like in intensive care.
I see. How old was he, Vilma, Maestro Marco?
Marco was, 78? Yes.
But he went in peace, and all of a sudden, so what you said is right. Yes. He didn't suffer. God was good to him.
No. I was in shock.
Of course.
Yes, but no. Thank God, no, he didn't suffer.
I'm so happy to hear you talk about your brother and about your family and about your legacy. And we have a lot more things to talk about. But again, repeating, www.marcorizo.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
And also the New York City Performing Arts Library.
Yes.
At 64th Street, Manhattan.
Lincoln Center.
That's right, at Lincoln Center, where you will be able to enjoy all these beautiful photographs. And one of the things that struck me a lot, Vilma, is that I saw a little postcard from Maestro Ernesto Lecuona sent to Marco Rizo.
Oh my God! I have to take a picture of that. I have to go to the library.
I took a picture for you.
Oh.
Yes, I did.
I need it.
So I think that is the most precious little thing there, and his manuscript. And I want to thank you and Marco Rizo in spirit. God bless you. Thank you for chatting with me. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you, Gilda.
God bless, dear. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.